cold. Bedhead. I thought it would be worth noting that I've had this Adidas sweater since like the 90s, so hence the missing sleeve ends. It's kind of my shop sweater. I watched back an intro video that I made, or a channel split video. If you go back on my timeline, you can see it. And I looked at how well-meaning, sorry guys, let me start over just a little bit. How well-meaning that video was. It spoke to my heart. It's what I intended to do back in 2020. And it just didn't happen. I can blame it on the CAD stuff I do, which is extremely demanding. I could blame it on COVID, but it just didn't happen. And so, with all the stuff that Mr. Potato Head has done, and Coof and all that crap. In fact, I may have to edit out the previous mention of the word. It's just been a hard 2 years. Thank God we didn't lose anybody in my immediate family to Koofy. I still haven't got it, thank God. The Omnicorp version. And so at the end of last year, due to a bunch of fortuitous or providential circumstances, I was finally able to get the shop put together. Now, this is not the shop I wanted, but it's the shop I got. So, some point in this video, I'll put pictures in of what it looked like in here. I think I've got one of before, and then I've got one of like total disaster. It's a small shop space. It's like I want to say it's 30 by like 18 that way. And I'm not complaining that there's people on YouTube that have less, so I'm grateful to have it. But you know, things just don't always go the way you want them to. And so I finally got the space set up. I still have off camera here is a huge pile of crap that I still have to deal with. I've got sheetrock and camping totes and a couple of engines over there, and this one here goes to the 88 out front, and I still have a bunch. I'm still in flux, but it's mostly done. I did a terrible sheetrocking job because I'm not a sheetrocker, and if on the other pictures, I don't know if you'll be able to see this wall, but it was like 80-year-old gray paint, and so I worked hard. I reconditioned this top here. This was originally this kind of gray house color that I put on there as a teenager, and so my son let me use his hand plane, and we hand planed off, which worked fantastic. I made sure and got, you know, all the metal out of it first so we wouldn't wreck his hand plane. And the hand plane surprisingly took all the paint off in 30 minutes. I mean, we literally set it to like a 64th, and I was able to hand plane off all the paint just instantly. And then I ended up getting, I don't know so much about wood finishes. I think it was varnish. It's whatever the stuff is that dries in like 30 minutes. And right now we're in the middle of winter, so outside, I think I did it on a sunny day, and it was like, I don't know, 40 or 50 degrees out, and it still dried really fast. And I put an entire quart on that. I soaked a bunch into the holes and tried to fill everything in. I was going to do epoxy, and I just, for right now, I just have other things to spend my time and money on. It was super cheap. It was like 20 bucks from Lowe's, and so it was easy to do. Screwed it down, all done. And then I threw some electrical on this wall. I've got Romex in conduit, which will drive all the electricians batshit crazy. And I looked it up. I think technically you can put Romex in conduit. I'm sure it's frowned on. I'm guessing there's local jurisdictions that don't allow it, but I swear somewhere you can. I read that you can put, I think that stuff's called NM in conduit. So I don't know. I'm sure some electricians will go crazy. So back to the shop. So I was able to purchase last winter for the shop. I got an old Delta table saw. It's 3-phase. Yeah, so I got the 3-phase Delta table saw, which I'm going to do some type of restoration video. I have a giant Delta resaw bandsaw that I'm going to put a VFD on so I can control the speed. I want to be able to cut metal and wood on it. It's a big saw. I'm really happy about it. And still have my trusty MIG welder. I've got to pick a TIG welder up at some point. Was really hoping to get a lathe and just could not find a decent lathe that was local. I'm looking for a fairly large lathe, like a Shipley or just anything that's a big engine lathe. I'd like to have, you know, at least 2-inch through bore and all that good stuff. And I just haven't seen anything come up that was decently priced. I'm not going to overpay. I did, however, pick up, let me turn you guys around real quick. I did pick up the CNC Mill, and it's got square ways. They're not dovetails. It's a Milltronics partner. I was really hoping that this would be a different type of collet system. I believe it's called Cat 40. So you machinists, don't kill me out there. This is an R8 collet, and I'm not happy about that. In fact, I'm going to see if at some point I can change this out to Cat 40 or whatever, the one that's got the drive dogs. I'm going to live with R8 right now. Maybe it will be easier to get rid of the machine and get something that's got the drive dogs. But this is fine. The Milltronics software works. You know, it's 1980 technology. I think there's a lot of G code that probably isn't going to work on there, but they have a conversion kit, and it's made by Centroid. And so if it's like $1,000, and I don't know what if I have to swap motors out or what, but that feels like 2 months project, so I'm not going to do that right now. But that may be in the future of the channel. So Milltronics, super happy about it. Got it for an okay price. For those of you who are wondering, I got it for $7,000. I feel like that's okay. So I might as well show you around the rest of the shop. Again, it's not done. So these are going to be pulled out flush. Going to get a countertop to go over them. And then I think I'm going to have an electronics bench over here. This will be a soldering station. And I'll have a soldering hood, and we'll get this all fixed up. This is just all the stuff that was in the shop that I couldn't deal with. And so this is, for right now, this is just shop storage. There's all kinds of my dad's T-Bird parts there and just other random crap. Got a bunch of air-cooled Volkswagen heads there. This is where the lathe is going to go, right here. The lathe's going to go across the back wall there. I'm hoping to have a woodshop portion over here, and I'll be having covers for the lathe and the mill so that they don't get wood chips on them. So those are the immediate plans. I think one of the next videos may be a lighting video, which the electricians are just going to go bananas over, because I don't do stuff to code, and I care about code if it has to do with safety, but I think some of the stuff's just total baloney, and I'm sure I'll get flamed about not grounding my boxes. And I would say that the box is grounded through the conduit system, and I do have one of the boxes grounded, but they're not all grounded, and whether or not that's code, I don't care. So one of the next videos, just off camera to your guys's left, would that be your right, my left, is a big grinder. I think that's going to be one of the first videos I do. I want to get that up on the countertop. We use it, and it's in good shape mechanically, but it's in rough shape visually. And so I think I'm gonna powder coat it. It's an old Thor grinder. My dad says it's his grandpa's, so we'll do that. And then I'm not sure where we're gonna go from there. We're either gonna go to the table saw and outfeed tables and that kind of stuff, or I'm not sure, band saws. I really don't know. I got a whole ton of stuff I want to do. And then as the weather warms up, we'll obviously shift out to vehicles and four-wheelers and that sort of thing. So I really wanted to be doing YouTube this whole time, and it just didn't happen. I have been extremely busy on some engineering projects, and now I'm managing a prefab setup, so modular construction. Just trying to collect my thoughts. I'm sure I'll piece this together, however. Yeah, so I guess maybe the only other thing I would say is I'm gonna make another attempt. I've spent a lot of money last year to get this shop put together, and it wasn't just to have a nice garage, it was to do something for YouTube. So I'm not going to make any promises or make any channel boasts. It seems like every time I do that, nothing actually happens. I am going to make as much of a college try as I can to post videos regularly. I think I'm gonna shoot for one every 2 weeks, and if I beat that goal, that'd be fantastic. If I don't beat that goal, that won't be fantastic. So I think that what I'm going to try to do is release one every 2 weeks. If I end up getting into a rhythm that's better than that, I know from the CAD side, from what I'm doing and trying to get out of, but doing for right now day to day, there's a tremendous pressure. I've got a couple of really large projects that are coming through, and so that's a frustration. I don't mind doing it. I like doing it, sort of, but I'd rather be out here. So we'll see how things go. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm going to make my best effort to put content out and be a good YouTube steward. So I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll talk to you later. Oh no!
You just finished, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you need me? Huh?